This week I'm back on the mainland and I'm cold. I might be sick already. A wild Sunday morning in the NFL. One-star moments and Rex. We're on the East Coast to chat with Olympic gold medalist and number one overall pick of the New York Sirens, Sarah Fillier.
Maple Leafs fans, this episode of One Star Recruits is brought to you by 500level.com. You can get all the Maple Leafs Legends t-shirts on there. Our guy Austin Matthews, we talk about him in this interview. Matt Sundin, Doug Gilmore, mystery shirts for $10. Check it out all on 500level.com. Use the discount code DK and RIP at checkout for 20% off all the Maple Leafs gear. It's DKANDRIP. 500level.com. Let's go.
Hi, this is Sarah Fillier, and I'm on One Star Recruits podcast.
Yo, aloha. Welcome to the One Star Recruits podcast. Checking in, 173.5 pounds, Discovery Bay, California, from my in-laws guest room. Happy Thanksgiving week. Lots of people are going to find themselves in their in-laws, one of their in-laws' rooms at some point in time. RIP, you know what I mean? It's just what happens during this week. You end up in some room trying to get something done. This day and age, some kind of meeting or something going on here. So here I am, back on the mainland.
I'm glad to have you back on the same time zone, no less. And count yourself lucky because I've heard of some stories where you're in your in-laws' guest room after you get divorced. You're still married. So win-win right there. Congratulations. And again, glad to have you back in California, DK.
In-laws guest room after divorce. So still doing the holidays from their in-laws basement, like still there, just like even sadder and more of a pathetic situation.
Rock bottom, basically. That's when you know you're at
Why would
rock
you go to
bottom.
your in-laws? Go to Denny's.
Some people have really close relationships with their in-laws, even closer than they have with their ex-wives. I've heard of
Oh
it before. It
boy.
happens.
You're speaking to yourself, your friend. Is this somebody? This is that. I don't even think that really happens that much. That's a rarity, but I appreciate the. You know what, Rip? You just told me not. It's all good. Situation's all good. At least I'm still married. That's what he says. God,
It
you're a
can
good
always be
co-host.
worse. It can always be worse. Count your blessings, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving week. Yeah, you're right. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving. Very nice to be back. Tough not being in Maui. The Maui Invitational Basketball Tournament's back in Lahaina. It looks amazing. Full crowds there in Kaanapali at the Lahaina Civic Center. Great basketball being played. I'm gonna say it, Rip, straight up. I'm watching it on TV now. I know I'm closer to it, so take this statement with what you will. The best college basketball tournament outside of March Madness in the country that exists.
I can't argue with that. And really, for you, it was the pinnacle of your journalism career when you had the press pass, I believe 2 years ago. You were wandering around with Hubie Brown and Dick Vitale down there. Just a one star and a one-star t-shirt on the court in the locker room. So I can understand why you have fond memories.
My guy Bill Walton, rest in peace. That's the toughest thing about this one, not having Bill call those games and seeing him there. But they're holding it down for the community, that tournament as itself, and it's rocking. I mean, it's such a fun thing for crowds because you can sell that package, Rip, for sure to alumni, especially basketball schools. It's the right time of year when it's cold at home. It's the right situation. You put together a group of alumni to go out there. It makes sense. But then you got to get out there and actually put together a good basketball tournament, and they really do that top notch. Put it on your list, people. If you haven't been, put on your. I talked to all the ads. I mentioned it in almost all of our prior interviews that we do with those athletic directors. Everybody's on the same page as me, Rip. We're trying to get in. It's hard to get in, so keep that thing going. The basketball, keep watching it. God, late night basketball fans, betting basketball fans. The rims are relatively soft, so lots of fun shots going the ball there. It's good hoops. Put it on your radar,
What
Rip. Stay up tonight. Get it in, Rip. Get a little North Carolina Dayton in your life, okay?
North Carolina, Dayton, and you had a long and successful career in sales in many different industries. What is the 30-second sales pitch for all our listeners in Georgetown, Ontario, Canada, who tuned in this episode for Sarah Fillier, hometown hero? What is the sales pitch for them to go to Hawaii and watch the Maui Invitational next year?
Damn. That's deep. Well, I mean, first things first, it's not a new thing, and all people in Maui in particular, but the state of Hawaii know Canadians love Hawaii. They love the real estate in Hawaii and the secondary rental markets. A lot of those properties are owned by Canadians who are the sweetest and the best at it, by the way, too. They do run great businesses and there's a lot of good systems there. I think they would be very into it. It's a situation when it's cold in November, comes to someplace warm, and basketball, just like hockey, is a fast sport. We're not asking you to come down to uh, Tampa Bay and watch the Rays play baseball in their roofless stadium. What a disaster down in Tampa Bay, by the way. But come on out. And I think that hockey's in the air. I'll switch over from basketball anyway, Rip. I just wanted to say that because I'm happy to see it back. I'm happy to see the flowered key. I'm just happy to see it back. It's been 2 years. That's it. That's why I was mentioning hoops. And I think that hockey is in the air. Dude, as soon as I touched down in San Jose last night, a wasp of shark was in the air. This dude Celebrini and the holiday season combo, it's teal down in San Jose, and I don't even think they're very good at hockey. As soon as I sat down this morning and started looking on the good old interweb, too, former Arizona Coyote, Barstool personality, Paul Bizanete, bro. He beat up three assholes, Rip, at a Houston's in Scottsdale over the weekend. Some assholes were getting all rude with the staff. This hockey guy, hockey's so good, it's in the air. He went into beast mode and he did a hockey fight at a Houston's on Scottsdale Road, and he beat the shit out. He went 6-on-1, Rip, and he beat the shit out of them. There's mugshots of these six guys. Faces all beat up. Biz, nothing on his face. It's in the air, bro. I'm telling you. We don't have a team anymore in Arizona. I don't know if you have a team. You rooting for any NHL or hockey teams, Rip? You like a logo or something?
I've actually moved on to the PWHL and I root heavily for the New York Sirens. You can stream the games on YouTube. Season opener is Sunday, DK. So I'm a Sarah Fillier fan, probably the number one fan outside of Canada and New York. Count me in.
That was quick. Stock is completely bought, and Rip's doing his best job, listeners, to move me fully over to the P Dub. I'm gonna hang in the NHL for one more second though, because the Carolina Hurricanes look super, super good, composed and in control. Minnesota Wild, also very good team. Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals are well-rounded this year. The Winnipeg Jets, Rip, Cinderella story of the league. The NHL is in good shape. Why? These are all names that aren't common winner big teams in the NHL. So with that said, yes, let's make some room for the P-Dub, the PWHL. The time is right. The momentum is right. And it's very cool for the One Stars to be here in the early innings once again, especially with the number one draft pick. So this is all a little bit new to us, to both of us, Rip, this league. So bear with us. But in a nutshell, for me, most exciting part is about the opportunity and the coattail movement it has to run with other women's sports who are already doing great things. I think of Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. With that said, bro, the PW has received more than 25 proposals for expansion already. People are looking for ownership stakes in great leagues as early as possible. And this is the one that's glaring like bright lights right now. Not a Kmart blue light sale by any means. They're looking for the right ownership in the right cities. But it's a very hot commodity in the sports world. Currently, it's a 6-team league. It's in the process of issuing those requests, Rip, for more teams to come in. But it's going to launch, like you said, bro, second season on Saturday. Toronto hosting Boston, Coca-Cola Coliseum. So you can check the games out already on CBS Sports. It's here. It's happening. There's going to be 90 games. That's how the season works. So in addition to Toronto and Boston, the league has squads in Ottawa, Montreal, Minnesota, and New York, obviously. And you mentioned it to me, too. This is kind of an interesting fun fact. It's owned by the Walter Group, who, if you don't know, now you know, that's the LA Dodgers co-owner, Mark Walter. So kind of interesting situation there as well. I'm not too sure what to think about it, but I think it's good. I think Dodgers win. Have a winner running this damn thing. Let's go. What do you think, Rip? It seems like the timing couldn't be better for basically Sarah, who is I don't want to compare her to some of the greats, but I think we might have just had the greatest ever on the pod. I don't know. Is that wild?
It's early, but it is wild that the same person who writes the checks for Shohei Ohtani, probably the biggest global athlete there is right now, is also writing the paychecks for Sarah Fillier right now. And these leagues don't succeed without generational talents. And we have Sarah coming on here in her rookie year We have Natalie Spooner, Sarah Nurse. There's a long list of women's hockey players in the PWHL that are ready to make this thing explode. So, like you said, we got her on early, right before her first season. I have a feeling we're always going to look back on this interview as us having scored one of the greats early. So, everybody sit back, listen closely, and enjoy this interview with Georgetown, Ontario's own Sarah Fillier. Now joining the One Star Recruits podcast, we have a native of Georgetown, Ontario, Canada, an Olympic gold medalist and the #1 overall pick of the New York Sirens in the 2024 PWHL draft. Sarah Fillier is on with the One Star Recruits. Thanks for hopping on, Sarah.
Yeah, excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. I know you're just a couple days away from your first real professional hockey game. So let's talk a little bit about the PWHL for people who might not know as much, like the One Stars out there. It's pretty new, about to start the second season, and it really kind of feels like the beginning of something great, like one of those buy your stock early type of things. An amazing opportunity for women's hockey. What are the vibes like inside the locker room and really around the league as the season's about to kick off here this weekend?
Yeah, vibes are high, especially here in New York. We're finally have like a permanent home. Last year, the girls were kind of playing in Connecticut, Long Island, and New Jersey. So now that we have a permanent place in New Jersey and the Prudential Center for home games, vibes are great. And I think if you saw any of the games last year when we packed NHL rinks in a matter of minutes, selling out tickets, I think in the fan section, vibes are high. So I think everyone's excited to get this thing rolling this week.
I read too that I think you said you watched every single game in the league last year. Was that like a little advanced scouting for you, or what was that all about? Just a fan?
Yeah, I was still in college last year, so I went to Princeton University just down the road from the Prudential Center, so it's kind of cool to be in a place I know. But yeah, we would have watch parties and I'd work on my homework and exams and stuff and throw the games up on YouTube. Tons of a Princeton alum in the league too, and some of my good friends. So was a fan, but definitely kind of analyzing the game a little bit.
Let's do some hockey talk, okay? I'm going to break it down. I'm going to just keep it 1-star level because we don't do a lot of hockey and we want to do more on this show. So this is a great opportunity for everybody. First things first, straight up off the bat, congratulations. Already a hat trick against Toronto. Just kudos. We know things are happening. You're coming in hot. This is just to start this 1-star. So #1 draft pick we're talking to. Okay. Besides Scotiabank Arena, and I just might even said that wrong. Best venue to take in an NHL hockey game, or not NHL even, college, a particular pond. Best venue to take in hockey.
I'm going to be biased and say Hobey Baker in New Jersey. It's like 100-year-old rink. Played all my college hockey there. Super historic. It's like the seats are right on top of you too when you're playing, and as a fan, you're right on that glass. So it's pretty sweet.
Hopi, yeah, listeners in New Jersey, New York, put it on your list and go check it out. It really is. It's a beautiful campus too. You can walk around and get your 10,000 steps in. Have yourself a day. Austin Matthews and myself and Rip both come from the same city, not known for producing a lot of hockey players. Can you name Austin's hometown?
I know it's in Arizona.
There it is.
Got it.
Scottsdale?
I think he lives in Scottsdale, but he played in Tempe. I'm going to say Tempe because that's the city that I'm from. I'm just going to say it. I don't even care.
Shout out. Yeah.
What's something in Austin's game? Because I know he's your favorite player too, that you incorporate into yours.
Probably just quick release shooting. I think that's one of his biggest skills in the game right now is how quick he can get the puck off his stick. And I think when you're playing top tier goalies in the NHL every night, and in the PW we're playing goalies who play on their national teams, so you got to get the puck off quick.
I like the PW. I'm going to say that. The PW.
Yeah, PW.
Yeah, that's clean. The PW. I like that. I'm changing my whole thing now. You're a CCM ambassador, which is super cool, along with some PW and NHL superstars. You see that? It flows off the mouth. I'm going to throw out some fellow ambassadors to you, and you give me the first words or memory that just come to your mind. These are fellow ambassadors here. Fellow #1 draft pick of the San Jose Sharks, Macklin Celebrini.
A word I think of is just goal scorer.
Oh, yeah.
You're asking.
Yeah, just like you. You guys both. Goal scorers. That's what I think of when I think of you. In Toronto, you saw her recently, Sarah Nurse.
Oh, good friends. Been on her
Ni-
line mate. Been her line mate for the past couple of years. She's great.
Nice, nice. Aaron Ambrose.
Hockey IQ. I think she's one of the smartest players I've ever played against, and not looking forward to see her in Montreal this year.
Ooh, nice, nice. John Tavares.
Ooh, I think just like a 200-foot center. I think he's probably one of the hardest guys to play against in the NHL, and even though he's getting up there in age, he's still doing his thing.
Yeah, I think captain. Yeah, statue captain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last one. I was just curious about this, as I never knew what it meant until this week, and producer Winston dropped it on me. What does CCM actually stand for, Sarah?
Oh, you might expose me for this one.
It's okay. I don't think anybody knows. That's why I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it to light. I don't think
look it up last week because someone actually asked me the exact same question. It's so bad I don't remember.
No, it's all good. I'm going to let the world know because it's kind of interesting. This could be a bar trivia question, listeners. So pay attention to this. CCM, which is the brand you see on all it's the best gear. It's the best gear straight up in hockey.
Yeah.
Stands for Canada Cycle and Motor Company.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. So random. So there you go. That's my one hitter there. But so interesting. So last one. So they all have their value at appropriate times. If you're digging around your hockey bag of tricks there, if you will, and you're pulling out, if you're in need of a goal, aka your most effective shot, are you pulling out a slap shot, a wrist shot, or are you waiting for a one-timer?
I'm gonna go wrist shot. As a righty, you kind of have a little bit of an advantage over a goalie shooting from the right side over the glove quickly. So I'll say that.
Yeah, that Austin Matthews quick release. Yep. Get it. Makes sense. Princeton, you did 6 years with your twin sister. How cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Bookmark that, but I even want to go back to high school because in that bio it says that you played, let me see, this can't even be right, Winston. Badminton, basketball, flag football, ultimate frisbee, and track and field. So 6-sport athlete, is this true?
Yeah, I did it all, but I just went to like a public high school in Georgetown, small town, small school. We the same kind of group of athletes played every sport in each season, and then I played on a travel team in hockey. So I was only really serious about the hockey part, but played a lot of sports in high school.
Lesson to parents and kids out there: get after it. I mean, I'm sure a little bit of that's helped everything in the hockey. I would imagine. Let's stay in Georgetown. Okay. Let's listeners, not Georgetown, Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Not Georgetown, Texas. This is Georgetown, Ontario, Canada. Okay. Here we go, Sarah. 3 questions. We're going to play How Georgetown, Ontario Are You? You ready?
Okay.
The Georgetown Marketplace has over 70 stores and services. It has the most amazing food court if you ever find yourself there, pretty much. Sarah, can you give me 3 places to eat at the Georgetown Market Food Court?
Mr. Sub, I think.
Jack.
Frisco Fries, and Mr. Slovakia.
Let's go.
What do you order at Frisco Fries?
What would I order?
Yeah.
It's like a New York fries. It's like a knockoff kind of. So like fries, hot dogs, poutine. That's the whole thing. Yeah.
You nailed it. Rip. I want to ask her. Winston put together this list. It's kind of harder. I'm gonna go for it because you just totally got that one. The Georgetown Farmers Market has become locally pretty famous. Beautiful downtown. Farmers markets run seasonal. Obviously, in Canada, it's freezing sometimes. Okay. Can you name 3 Ontario area vendors who will be at the market?
Allison's
Farm Market. Check. Oh boy. You are hella Ontario.
I think maybe the Stonehill Market.
Stonehill Market.
They do cheese and wine, and I don't know if it's still there, but Silver Creek Cafe.
Silver Creek Cafe still there and participating.
Still there, nice.
Uncle Dad's Pizza still rocking up there. You got, so many good stuffs. I love a farmer's market, Rip. Nice. You are super. Okay, last one. Last How Georgetown Are You question. I'm getting sucked up in all these great vendors here. Fall Fair takes place every September, just passed. So kind of like a petting zoo, tractor pulls, cool bands, listeners. You get the vibe. The under-over that producer Winston has said is that Sarah has been there 10 times. Have under-over 10 times at the Georgetown Fall Fair.
Way under.
Way?
Yeah, way. I've maybe been once. Just once.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's probably respectful. It could be a one and done as you age out because everybody's
Yeah.
playing hockey. You know.
Yeah, it's not. I think the description you got is way cooler than the actual fall fair.
Well, that's on our producer Winston. Sometimes he messes up totally way too much, but you nailed it very much. You are Georgetown. That was awesome. You rock.
Yeah,
I'm just
fun.
impressed with the Mr. Sub reference. So that's
I
5-star
know.
to me. We close out every interview, Sarah, with the segment we call 1-star to 5-star. We mentioned off the top we're 1-stars, but we're trying to get a little better every week with guests we have on this podcast, giving us advice and tips. And so I want to ask you just a few questions that run the gamut on a 1 to 5-star scale here.
Okay.
All right. You won, we mentioned, an Olympic gold medal with the Canadian women's hockey team back in 2022 in Beijing. Having an Olympic medal is a 5-star life achievement by any standard for sure. And I'm curious, I ask every Olympian we have on here, we have a bunch of swimmers and gymnasts. Even DK has his own championship ring from Little League that he wears. Where do you keep your gold medal? And do you ever just wear it just for fun?
Actually, I did keep it in my sock drawer just because like vets were like, you got to keep it in your sock drawer because it's so soft in there. But my dad likes to just hide it around the house sometimes. He's like paranoid that someone's going to come and break in and steal it. So it's kind of a little fun game for him. He just like hides it around. And if I ever need it for like a media event or something, I got to call him to come dig it out from somewhere.
I like that. Even you don't even know where it is right now.
No idea. Yeah.
I like that. All right. I live in California. I'm a 1-star ice skater. We have no ice here. We've never put on hockey gear in my life. But our Canadian and Rocky Mountain listeners know from listening every week to us. From the outside looking in, it seems like you guys wear about 15 pounds of gear every game. Mm-hmm. So I just want to ask, I mentioned we're the 1-stars. In your opinion, what is the 1-star piece of hockey equipment that might be annoying to put on sometimes?
I always had a hard time pulling up the long socks over the thing.
I think the worst part is putting on like your unders, like the tight compression, long sleeve, or like if you wear long pants. And then once you start sweating, it's so tough to get that stuff on. So I'm going to go like your base layer is the worst part.
I like that. It's a process. It sounds like a 10-minute process. All right.
Yeah.
Last one, you're just starting your professional journey. And along with that comes kind of building a platform. I know you got a lot of new followers once you got picked by the Sirens and all that. So whether it's furthering women's opportunity to play hockey or another 5-star cause that is really meaningful to you, what's something important to you personally now that you have a larger platform that you'd like to maybe have an impact with down the road?
Yeah, I think you said it. I came from a small town, small community, and I would have loved to have been able to be on the ice with, women who playing pro and could be, real role models I could see. So during or right after the Olympics, I ran like a small summer camp kind of in Georgetown just for locals. And then now that I have some time and have graduated and playing pro and kind of being on a, national kind of level, I think just expanding that camp and getting as many young girls and young boys on the ice.
I love that. It sounds like you want to pay it forward to your hometown and the young women coming up after you. And maybe we can even get a Frisco Fries sponsorship or catering deal going on.
Yeah. In the P-Dub at the Prudential. How's that ice at the Prudential? You like? Is it suitable? We're going to see some goals being scored?
I hope so. I mean, I've just been a fan at Devils games out there, so it'd be cool to hit the ice as actually on the ice and being able to score in front of the fans.
I can't wait. Have you chilled with Jack? Have you chilled with Jack Hughes, the Hughes brothers? Have you got the Devils meetings yet?
Haven't yet. Maybe we'll run into each other in the halls.
You're gonna run into each other. We got to get you out to a Knicks game. Calling 1-star Brendan Long at MSG. Make the connection, Brendan. We got a superstar in town.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we know that home opener at Prudential Center is scheduled for December 18th. The Sirens season actually starts this Sunday in Minnesota. Listeners can go follow Sarah at Sarah Fillier 16 on Instagram. Grab your tickets for every game at thepwhl.com. Sarah, we wish you the best of luck this season and beyond, and thank you again for coming on with the 1-Star Recruits.
Awesome, thanks. Had fun.
DK, when you mentioned Paul Bissonnette early on in this episode, it got me to thinking, and I want to ask you, because I have the answer on AI right now, but women's hockey, do they fight like the men do? What do you think? Are there fights in women's hockey? I Googled it. I'm going to read you the answer, but I want to hear what you think first.
I don't know. It's a good question. Yes. Let's say yes.
Well, we watch in the UFC all the time. One of the biggest fights, right before that Tyson Paul boxing match. Is now, there's women fighting in a lot of places, but apparently the PWHL, it's not a very big thing. I'm going to read you the AI answer here. Women's leagues have long steered away from not just fighting, but even hard body checking. But the rare brawl does break out in women's hockey, but the routine fighting has never been a part of the sport. So there's your answer.
Interesting question. I dig that, man. Things are happening. I noticed this season I read an article about Jessica Campbell. She's a coach for the Seattle Kraken NHL squad, first female coach in the NHL. She played in the CWHL, I believe. It just didn't
The
have a foundation like the P-Dub, bro. Like the P-Dub is building right now. Shout out to the Calgary Inferno. That's who she played for. But this foundation now is allowing the women athletes of hockey to actually showcase. So it's on, bro. It's on. I'm gonna be watching. CBS, sign me up. I'm gonna get the app. Great interview. I love being early on sports and athletes, Rip. I think we do it really well on this podcast. All right, Rip. I'm back in the mainland, settled into Sunday football. And dude, I haven't seen an 80-inch TV. I've been working off a 24-inch TV for 4 years. Holy shit. Let me start there. What an experience with the Red Zone channel and a big ass TV. Boy, oh boy, did I pick a great Sunday morning to enjoy NFL football. The games are pretty wild. I mean, it's moving day in fantasy football, moving week, I should say, not moving day, moving week for a lot of fantasy football teams. So at this stage, your league leaders start to clinch playoff spots, elimination games for really the bottom, and then that fourth, fifth, sixth genre really starts to come together. You're looking at a 6-5, 7-4 squads right now, really fighting this week, and it delivered on a lot of action-packed games. I got to start with that Commanders Cowboys game. Did you watch?
I had Jaden Daniels on my bench this week, but I did watch, and I watched the most exciting part, that fourth quarter where they scored like 30 something points, 40 something points. The Cavante Turpin muffed kick return for a touchdown, the long pass to Terry McLaurin in the last minute. It was an incredible fourth, but man, that kicker DK should not have been out there. He had a hip injury, and they benched our guy Zane Gonzalez from Arizona State to bring back their kicker. Missed 2 extra points and cost them the game.
Yeah, that's all very confusing. Poor guy, Austin Siebert, man. Poor dude from Illinois. Midwestern kid, really nice guy. I was kind of sad in the post game because he was almost tearing up. Missed 2 extra points, not good. Game winner, not good. They put him on the IR, bro. So that hip must have been fucked up. Put him on the IR. I thought it could have been a mental health IR until I saw the hip injury come up because ain't nothing harder on the mental probably than that. Can you imagine these kickers? I mean, are we at the point where we should get rid of kicking?
I think kicking's at its all-time peak. These guys are hitting 60-yard field goals almost every other week, but the problem is you can't put a kicker out there with a foot injury or a hip injury. The Niners did it a couple weeks ago with Jake Moody, had a foot injury. He missed 3 field goals. Obviously, his kicking foot is hurt. And Austin Siebert, hip injury, you can't rotate your hits and make a field goal. I mean, just common sense.
Gonna start soon. I'm seeing the trend of going for two is going for two and pass interference are the two things that are on trend more than anything in the NFL right now in my entire lifetime. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a team in the next 5 years say, screw it. We're not going to kick anything unless we need to launch a 50-yarder and maybe have a specialist who just launches because it's not really earn the kickers aren't football players, Rip. I don't know how to say it. They are, but they just aren't. They're not sacrificing their body and brain on the line to go in and kick. I think you got to keep football at some point. I would not be surprised. Early prediction from DK, kicking will continue, but it'll be like working like the hook shot in basketball. It'll be only be pulled out every now and again. It won't be an all the time thing. We'll see though. I just can't imagine this continuing and teams. Do you see the 2 point conversion thing going, Rip? Do you see that happening?
I like that, kind of like going for it on fourth down a little more, 4th and 3, 4th and 2. The one thing they are obviously trying to kill kicking with is the new onside kick rule, where you have to tell the other team you're about to onside kick. I think there's like 2 successful onside kicks out of like 40 this year. That totally torpedoed the onside kick, which is a bummer because it was one of the coolest plays in sports.
all getting sticky now on that side of things, and I'm not against it. I don't have any better solutions, so I hate to just be a hater and say it sucks, but I can see the tides turning on maybe things changing in that realm. That spin move, bro, by Emmett Smith's favorite Cowboys receiver, Turpin, was so good. The thing about that spin move, he did it in space. That was almost like a mistake. Remember in Madden 2002 when you would accidentally hit that spin move, that B button, and all it did is kind of irk the computer enough to throw those guys off their standard course. That's what he did. It was not a needed thing. It was right. That was an in-space spin move that just everybody was kind of like, what the fuck? It reminded me of like the barking dog basketball play, the inbounds plays where 4 out of the 5 people start barking like a dog, and then one guy cuts to the basket. Uh, Between Saquon Barkley's jump, that move, maybe some new stuff in football's coming along. Who knows? But that was an interesting ass play and the best game of the week by far. That used to be a real rivalry game, that Cowboys Redskins rivalry game. Now I don't think as much, but you saw that fourth quarter rip because the first part of the game was a share. That was a stinker. That fourth quarter was how those games used to always be. And I hope that I can get back on track. Our Arizona Cardinals, not on track whatsoever. Really hard game to watch. Probably the hardest game for me to watch of I'm not a Niners fan. If I was a Niners fan, that one would have killed me because the Packers really came in and worked them, rip. But I don't even know. Ugly, ugly, ugly. It was just ugly. They needed to go into the Seattle game and plant their flag as a legit playoff contender was what needed to happen. That didn't at all. And that didn't happen because the offense didn't happen, which is the worst part of this whole fucking thing. The defense was the bright spot of Sunday's game, bro. That's not supposed to happen. This is not how it really works that much. And Kyler Murray was the problem. He regressed. The confident decision making quarterback of prior weeks that we sat here and talked about, he regressed. He went 3 for 12 on third downs. Can't do that. He also looked skittish on all of those third downs. Not sure if he wanted to run. Not sure if he always going right. Very inconsistent. And not being safe with his body. Rip, he took a couple hits, man. I had to see Clayton Tune warming up. I don't want to see Clayton Tune warming up. I don't know. I don't want to see Clayton Tune warming up. Okay? And he's just got to be smarter. It was one situation where I thought physicality could be it. Height. He's not seeing over his offensive linemen. But it's confidence because if I clear my brain back to weeks 3, 4, and 5, he can find the space to make the plays. Marvin Harrison Jr. is out there, bro. You got to go find it and get there. I know offensive line is having some problems. You just got to be a little bit better. And it's from the heart and it's from confidence. Turn your swag meter down. Turn your swag meter down. Turn your leadership levels up. Okay. Turn your ego on down. Turn your patience up. And let's be a playoff team, Cardinals. Let's not do this anymore. Okay? The Niners got their asses kicked. The Rams game was terribly ugly. And we had an opportunity to go into Seattle, a suspect-ass team, and at least come out of there in a place where we feel like we're actually going into the playoff with a little bit of confidence. And that's all that I ask. I don't know if it's going to happen. But I know 100% it's not going to happen if the guy's jersey says TUNE on the back of it. So be safe out there, Cardinals. I don't know if I should believe or not believe. I don't even know where I stand, Rip. And I think a lot of us are in the same situation. Purgatory.
Yeah, I had a real epiphany this week. We're on the heels of Thanksgiving, and one thing that it always takes up a small spot on your plate, it's cranberry sauce, and it made me think Kyler Murray really is the cranberry sauce of NFL quarterbacks. He looks nice and shiny with all the red uniform, but he's a tiny part of the play, emphasis on small and tiny. And really, I've seen enough, DK. I've had cranberry sauce every Thanksgiving of my life, and there's a reason you only want to see it once a year. You don't want it every week. It's not that good. And that's Kyler Murray to me. It's I've seen enough. He's in his 6th year. He's not consistent. He's all over the place, like you said. Some good games, some bad games, bad decision making. But I'm if I see cranberry sauce tomorrow on Thursday, I'm done. I'm out on cranberry sauce and I'm out on Kyler Murray. That's it. Happy Thanksgiving.
Tap out. It can't be painful to watch. The Carolina Panthers, painful to watch. Cooper Rush and the Cowboys, painful to watch. Kyler Murray and that Cardinals offense last week, painful to watch. It, you got to flow. You got to Patrick Mahomes. You got to flow with it, man. You got to Lamar this thing.
I feel bad for you that you had to watch that game on an 80-inch TV. On a 24-inch, it might have been a little more tolerable, but when you see all that stuff, all those glaring holes and mistakes on 80-inch TV, not good.
No shit. And everybody's like you. Right? They hopped off the boat this week because it was back to that. It was back to years past of what we saw at the quarterback position. By far the most important position. And that's why, once again, we're going to probably see a Chiefs and a Lions Super Bowl. I got composed QBs who know how to get it done. Anywho, it was good Sunday, man. It was good Sunday. I'm so happy to be back in regular land with regular stuff. I could have ordered any food I wanted. I could have gone to a sports bar and gotten chicken wings. I mean, this stuff is all things that I was not able to do on Kauai, as crazy as that sounds. So football season is going to continue to get better and better and better for your boy as we move along here.
I know those travels, man, with the two dogs. You get a one-star moment of the week, a travel moment for all the one stars out there. What happened on your way from Hawaii to Northern California?
Actually, very smooth. I do have a travel 1 star moment. I'm gonna drop here. Thank you. That was a good leak. 'Cause I didn't have a very good one, and I was gonna go on the fly. Just because you asked, though, we flew on Alaska Airlines, who by far has the best pet policies of all of the airlines. So if you're flying and want to keep your animals in the cabins and they're below 25 pounds, Alaska Air, they made some changes recently. They are really leaning into being the more pet friendly airline, and they stayed true to everything that they said. It was so easy, a great flight, one of the better flights that I've done from the islands back to the mainland with these animals who were totally cool with it. So safe and sound here. 1 star moment of the week, though. I've done so well, so well with this set of earpods that I've had, my most recent set. I'm going to say, wow, I might almost get to the 10-month mark, which is a huge anniversary for myself and earpods. And the earpod gods were testing me. They were even testing me last week pretty fucking hard, man. And this week they won. They did win. And it was a good battle. Round one was my earbuds were left at the pickleball court. Pickleball court down in Kaloa, Hawaii. I did not realize it till I got back to the city of Lihue, and I tracked him back down there. And a fine, nice gentleman at the pickleball court had put it on a picnic table for me, right there, staring me in the face. I won battle one. Battle two, got all the way back to California, San Jose. Boom, driving out to the East Bay, decided to make a quick pit stop for a little grub, do a quick walk around with these animals. I did the bud transfer from my ear to my dangerous move. Everybody knows it. Hoodie pocket. It's the worst pocket of all the pockets. It's the number one fallout pocket of all the pockets. Did it in the pocket. Made a couple moves around that complex. By the time I realized, which was the next day, that if they had been left there, I didn't even want to do a drive back to look for it. I don't know. Should I go do a drive back and look for it? Or is that just gone?
How far is the drive?
It's about 25 minutes.
Not worth it. Buy some new earbuds.
Buy some new earbuds. That's what I'm doing there. So 1 star moment of the week was a successful travel with the animals, which isn't a wreck. But on the flip side, the earbuds won for me. And I'm a little nervous about my earbud use because I use them a lot. I'm not sure how it works or if it's doing it. Sometimes I get a buzzing sound. They kind of fuck with me a little bit. I don't, you know what I mean, Rip? I kind of want to go back to the
get a different brand.
I kind of want to go back to the ones with the cord, but we'll see. We'll see where it lands. What do you got?
Maybe we should crowdsource through it. You're very ingrained in the pickleball community now. It sounds like a friendly group of nice elderly people and yourself. I think we should maybe crowdsource some new earbuds for you through the pickleball community.
Pickleball specific earbuds, perhaps. I'm in the market for new ones. If you have recommendations, I know people like the Bose ones. I've been on these earbuds. What are you using? You still using the cord?
I believe I have some $12 made in China, Amazon basic knockoff earbuds that probably are hurting my brain a little bit. But
Oh yeah, you might have a
work pretty
tumor
well.
going. You might have a tumor going with this.
Yeah, my 1 star moment is I got some little sad medical news. Our little dog Pancake. We knew he had a heart murmur. He's 2 years old. The guy weighs 5 pounds. He's a Chiweenie. So we knew we had to get this echocardiogram test at some point to figure out how bad the heart murmur was. $700 test, by the way, just a test to hook him up to this EKG machine. So we got that. It turns out the guy has an undersized valve, that one of the valves that pumps blood for the heart is undersized. So he's gonna have to, sounds like, be on heart medication for his entire life, which is a bummer. So just some 1 star bad pet owner dog news there. So the vet was throwing out some life expectancy, and I refuse to believe those. I'm hoping the guy lives till he's about 25, but just some 1 star pet news, DK. Kind of sad, to be honest. Sorry to bring the show down.
All good. Always has stuff. If there's a shining light in it, one of my dogs here, Abby, also a heart murmur dog, and she just celebrated her 13th birthday. So who knows? Who knows, man? But yeah, it totally sucks when that happens. At least you guys caught it early. You can get her on the meds. And also with AI, bro, things are changing. Who knows? Might find an answer. 1 star wreck of the week for me. Basically, it's a if it ain't broke, don't fix it situation. First thing upon touching down, where my ear pods lay, somewhere there on Mission Street, I got a double animal style fries and a Diet Coke. It's becoming a part of the Thanksgiving break, bro, for a lot of people in West Coast cities and Denver and Arizona, wherever they have In-N-Out burgers now, to incorporate an In-N-Out burger into your Tuesday or Wednesday holiday eating schedule. Some people participate in the very fun Wednesday college bar meetup. Guess where you go afterwards? In-N-Out burger, most likely. It pairs wonderful with the next day's Thanksgiving dinner. And I already got it knocked off the list, and it was better than ever, as good as ever. I don't care for any of you In-N-Out burger haters. It is simply a fine, delectable Americana meal, and I loved every second of it.
Are they open on Thanksgiving Day? You have ready to take the plunge for Thanksgiving Day In-N-Out? Or is that ever gonna happen?
No, that's what you guys got to do. Still do the thing, Rip. We're not doing that quite yet, but you mix it in. You mix it in with the week. It's part of an eating week, if you will. You know what I mean?
I have a feeling that In-N-Out would not make any employees work on Thanksgiving Day. So my recommendation of the week, DK, just because you hate Netflix so much and you chastised me about my Netflix watching last week, I have another one for you, a show that my wife turned me on to. I've been watching. It's called Insecure. It stars Issa Rae, who I believe is a Los Angeles native. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the show. It's very interesting. There's lots of sex, lots of relationships, very young person show. We found ourselves hooked on it, and it's been a banger for us. We've been watching it all the time. Netflix, I think it has 5 seasons. We're on season 5 now, binging the hell out of it. So when you find yourself in your in-laws' guest room with nothing to do, DK, and you see the Netflix app, get it on there. Insecure.
I won't do it, Rip. You let your wife suck you into the silliest shows. I will not do it in my house. There is Maui Invitational to be watched, Rip. There's fantasy football research to be done. I cannot find myself watching a melodrama that my wife is watching, bro. But I respect that you do it. And I respect that you like it, actually. It's probably a damn good show. Not for me, bro. Not for your boy. Rip Reacts. Hit the music. Juju Watkins signed a deal with State Farm Insurance, making her the second NCAA athlete to sign with the company following Caitlin Clark last year. Rip, 1 to 5 stars. Honestly, do athlete pitchmen affect your buying decisions? Like, do you buy Under Armour because Steph Curry is a part of it, or Uggs because Tom Brady was in the commercials, or do you go to Bojangles because Jake Delhomme likes it?
I'll tell you what, they didn't before I had kids, but now that I have 2 kids, it's like magic. My youngest saw some batting gloves yesterday at the store by Franklin. He saw a picture of Francisco Lindor, who's a Mets infielder on there, and he like threw an entire tantrum. They never even heard the kid say this guy's name, but he's seen him once on TV. I need those Francisco Lindor batting gloves. And so, hey, guess what? I'm getting them for him for Christmas. So there's your answer. It's an absolute yes because I have kids.
I didn't think of that. That's such a good answer. Like, we don't give a shit as much. Maybe a little. How about you personally? Anything that you could think of that you're like, ooh, I can't even think of an example.
I can't think of anything. I care more about the city of Laughlin and the PWHL these days than I do about
It is a
supporting
younger
athletes.
demo. Yeah, it is a younger demo. I wonder when that washes away a little bit more. Probably when you see, like, maybe you meet some of your heroes or something. I don't even know, but it does wash away after a while. But you nailed it. I think you're right. The kids still buy into all that shit. It works. It's pay them. Pay these athletes, Rip. Speaking of, ASU's coach, Kenny Dillingham, he stood up for his roster this weekend, bro. Pay these guys what they deserve to be paid. He's trying to build a behemoth in Tempe. Rip, you're an Arizona State alumni. You're a very successful podcaster. Put it on tape right now for your city and your school. How much will you donate to Coach Dillingham's program?
I haven't donated a cent yet. I'll tell you what, the guy's got probably the toughest job in America. Everyone calls it a sleeping giant, that Arizona State football program, in one of the largest cities in the country. But they've been saying that for 20 years. So many coaches have tried and failed. But the ultimate thing for him is winning. He's doing that this year. If he can sustain that and turn it into a winning program, the money will follow, the recruits will follow. And honestly, I'll open up my wallet at some point, but I'm not doing it yet. I'm not there yet.
What would it take? What if they offered you a specialty hoodie for a $200 donation? You'd probably be in.
I'd say 2 to 3 college football playoff appearances, and then I'm in.
2 to 3, best team in the Big 12. About to do it. We're gonna miss the boat, Rip. We're gonna take advantage of this. We'll get more guys on our podcast here. Get Coach Dillingham on our show.
Hey,
I want a $200 commitment. I want a $200 commitment right now.
If Kenny Dillingham comes on the show, I will shell out $200 for that appearance.
Clip the tape train. Send that over to him. Let's get this thing going, man. The Saints plan to unveil a fully renovated cafeteria with a barista, pizza oven. They got views of the practice facility, $12 million upgrade. Rip, what's the best food court or cafeteria that you've ever stepped foot in?
It's on the heels of this interview talking about the food court at the Georgetown Marketplace in Ontario. It's got to go back to my days at Fiesta Mall. I think I got dropped off there for entire days with about $8 to get Sbarro slices of pizza and an Orange Julius. Sustained honestly, probably the reason I'm alive right now is because I got that 2 for $5 Sbarro 2 slices and a soda deal twice every week during the summer of 1992, DK.
You were raised poor up in there, but that was glorious. That was poor rich right there for sure. Yeah, I'll get an Orange Julius too all day. God, those were good. What's in an Orange Julius? You know? Is it cream? Is it ice cream?
100% fruit juice and 100% sugar, I think, is the answer to that.
God, those things are freaking glorious. Big shout out to the Orlando Pride. Won the NWSL title on Saturday. Great celebration. They beat our squad, Rip. They beat the Washington Spirits, just like the P-Dub and Sarah, though. We had it first. We were on it, even though our team lost. Shout out Lena, former guest. Check out the interview. She's great. Lost in the finals. They will be back. Just want to give them some love. Last one, Rip. Chicago United Center flipped a hockey venue to a basketball arena, and they brought UConn in, bro. And they brought a goat out to celebrate Gino Auriemma, a live goat. Got me thinking, and I want to ask Rip this. Scale of 1 to 5 stars. How sick of you are you of the word goat and goats in general, and just goats? Are you sick of them and the word and goat and anything goat?
I think more live goats might be the answer to make me less sick of it. If you see more live goats, it always adds an extra layer to it. But yeah, I think it's just, I'm sick of it because the word is being used so loosely. It's kind of like we use legend a lot and probably overuse it, but there's a lot of people throwing out goat out there. I mean, because goat is greatest of all time. It should only be one person, but it's being talked about for dozens of people at this point. So I am a little tired of it.
I've had enough. It's not even good meat. You gotta stew it or something. Send me a good goat recipe if you got one. Enjoy hockey season. Give us 5 stars if you think we are on the precipice of a brand new hot ass league that's gonna have, guess what, Rip? You're probably gonna see some owners pop up in this new hockey league. They're gonna come. Everybody wants ownership rights in professional sports teams. And this is one to get on early. So if you're hearing this podcast, you're welcome. You're welcome. We'll take our percentage on the back end. Just give us 5 stars. That's it. Keep showing up because we're going to keep serving up that heat, bro. Pickleball status. We'll see you next week.